How to say no. Assalamu alaikum, this is your brother Muhammad Arshad, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about saying no in a professional environment. Okay, so one of my coaching clients sent me a question saying that they always get walked over or treated badly by their clients, right? So my client, they're saying that whenever they're dealing with their people, their clients, they get taken advantage of, they get walked over, they get forced to do things that they don't want to do and that they haven't agreed to do, and these kind of problems. So in this video I just wanted to give you 3 very simple kind of things to stop that from happening. So the first thing I would say is prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. What do I mean by that? Is that when you start a new relationship, it's better that at the start of that relationship you define very clearly what are the boundaries for that relationship. The better you define things at the start, the better you set expectations, the better you communicate about how this relationship's going to work, and how things are going to be done and what's included and what's not included. That will make a massive difference to the entire relationship and the way that things progress throughout. So it's very, very normal from a project management background that we would define exactly what the project includes, but also what the project does not include. So after you've dealt with clients over and over again, sometimes later you'll realize that, look, clients always ask me to do this, but that's not included, but they always ask. So from now on, what I'm going to do is whenever a new client joins, I tell them at the start, listen, this is included, this is what I do, but I will not be doing this, or this is chargeable at a different rate, right? So it's really, really important that everything you do, you start at the beginning in the right way. And so you prevent some of the issues coming up rather than dealing with the issues later. Another example of this is Marines. If you look at the way Marines are inducted into the Marines when they first turn up, it's not like a holiday camp where, the Marines kind of come into a hotel, check in and this and that. They all arrive on one bus. As soon as they get into the place where the Marines are, they come off the bus and they stand. There's footsteps painted on the floor. They stand exactly in the right place, and then the drill sergeants come out and they're screaming at them and they're shouting at them, and then they take them inside. They shave their heads off immediately, and then they give them like 30 seconds to make a phone call to tell the people that they love that they're here and they're safe, and that's it. And it's so intensive in the way they start because it sets them up for success in the future. Now, I'm not saying you do that with your clients, don't shave their heads off or anything, but there's a big, big lesson to learn that the way you start the relationship, the way you deal with them at the start, will define the way the relationship is throughout. So the first thing is prevention is better than cure, and prevent the issues from coming up. Now the second one, another medical terminology, is that if you are in that situation, like you didn't set great expectations, now it's about making a decision. Either you cut the tumor out or you die from the cancer. Okay, so these are the 2 options now. Either you cut the tumor or you die from the cancer. What do I mean by cut the tumor? Right now, you need to basically do some damage control. So now that you've set expectations, maybe you didn't set expectations and they started taking advantage, and maybe you've even given in, and sometimes you've listened to them and you've done stuff that you shouldn't have done, which was maybe chargeable or it wasn't included, and so it's like, oh my god, I'm in trouble now. So now the fact is that you've got this tumor, and if you don't do something about it, it's just going to get worse and worse. So if you do nothing and you just stay calm and you stay quiet and you just keep eating it up, eventually you will die from that cancer. What do I mean by die? Well, either you'll explode on them and you'll just be like, forget this, I don't want to do this anymore, and you'll go to really bad extremes, or you'll just get fed up, you'll want to give up, you won't do a good job. Something somewhere will break, right? So before that happens, before you kind of die of this situation that you're in, the best thing you can do is cut it. And so the way I would advise you cut it is that you basically have an open dialogue with them, right? So most people, they go to violence in their communication, or they go to silence in their communication. The optimum thing to do is actually to be in dialogue. So what you need to do is you need to go to that person and you need to say, look, Mr. Client, I'm so sorry. I take full responsibility. I've done things that I should not have done. In our relationship, we agreed to do X, Y, and Z. I know you've asked me to do extra. I know I've been doing it. The truth is I shouldn't be doing it. And it's not your fault. It's actually my fault in the way that I've been doing it, Like, I shouldn't have done it at the start, but you are someone that's been really good. You've helped me through it, and you've been willing to, go with me, and I've been willing to go with you. But now, unfortunately, the way things are, I just can't handle it. I know it's a difficult thing for you because it may seem like I'm changing the rules on you or whatever, but the base foundation is that I cannot do this anymore, and therefore you do a cut. And you make it so that it's different. And you say, from now on, Mr. Client, the way it's going to work is this is included, this is not included. I know everything up till now, don't worry about that. But moving forward, this is the way it's going to work. So in a way, what you do with cutting the tumor is that you actually go back and you try and prevent future issues, future diseases, future problems, right? By resetting the expectations. So that's the second thing to do. And then the third thing is really to realize that your life has value, okay? Another medical terminology, but your life has value. The reason I'm saying this is because one of the reasons why we get into this situation where we have too many things that we're doing, we don't say no, we kind of try and please people, is because we kind of value other people too much, or we value ourselves too low, right? Because you start thinking, well, you know what, I should do this, I should do more, I should do more, I should do more. And sometimes it's like you don't feel like you're enough in yourself. And so because of that, you just give the other person too much, and you never ever say no, and you get walked over, right? And so part of solving that is realizing that you have value, right? And if you're going to give value to people in a proper way, you need to make sure that you are looking after yourself, okay? Because if you start looking after yourself and you realize that you have value, you will actually be able to help those people in a much better way. And then at the same time as you realizing you have value, you also need to know that you should be respected. So it's not fair that, you know, everyone else is out there relaxing, chilling, and then they put all the work on you and you have to do everything. That's not how it should work, right? You have value as a human being. You deserve respect. You deserve to be treated in the right way. And sometimes it's our own fault. We haven't set the right expectations. We haven't done what we should have. But once you've done that and you've done the setting expectations, then you need to stay disciplined on this. You need to make sure that the people that you're communicating with, they realize that you have value. And don't be scared to communicate that value as well. You know, be very upfront and say, look, I'm here to help. I'm here to do this. As I've told you before, like, this is the way I'm going to work. This is the way I need to do things. If you're happy with that, we can work together. If not, then by all means, no problem. We can go our separate ways, and I wish you the best. You know, so just to summarize, guys, you know, my advice really for you to kind of stop this whole conundrum, because it's a really painful thing to be in, where you can't say no and you keep taking too much and you're overwhelmed. And so my simple ways to do it are to, the first thing I said was to actually, prevention is better than cure. The second thing is that realize that when it comes down to it, if there's a tumor there, you either have to cut the tumor or you have to die of the cancer. And then the third thing is realize that you as a person and your life, it has value, and therefore stay disciplined on that belief, and inshallah that will resolve it all. JazakAllahu khair for watching. Inshallah I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.